It's
You've been
shocking.
You've been blue balled by Lenovo.
I've been blue balled by Lenovo.
Yes. Hey, yo, Yokoso, which means welcome if you're new. We're so glad you're here because we have heard your demands. You are interested in a longer speedcast, but I'll be honest, I cannot do this by myself because I have no idea what I'm doing. That's why I have my panel of experts here. Tonight, we're also joined by our good friend, Hanstern. He decided to grace us with his presence and step away from his Win 5 in the backpack. Hi, everyone.
So...
Yes. Okay. So, we were a little price negative and we heard some comments last week about this, but I want to assure everyone that, I am still the resident Lenovo Legion Go shill in Handhelds United, despite my apprehension about the price. But I know that that enthusiasm isn't necessarily shared by everyone. And so I'd like to ask everyone here, what, if anything, price aside, is holding you back from this being your kind of dream device, or as I've said before, the do-it-all device? Don't everyone speak up at once.
It could be bigger. I mean, a couple things, like battery's only 74 still, we're not pushing 99 yet. A 8.8, let's make that a 10.1. Outside of the price, I really, really like this device. It seems well designed and all that. There's not a lot really for me to nitpick on it.
I'm glad that you shared your take on that, Hanstern, because we did miss your input on that from last week. And I think that is maybe an important sanity check, because I think overall people are positive about, everything that this brings to the table. But I know that not everything is perfect, because realistically, even if it checks most, if not all the boxes for you, there's probably one or two nitpicks. I mean, I love nitpicking about devices too. So, Nelly, you were telling us before the recording, what's your nitpick about this device?
The vents in the back. I hated how small they were in the last device, and it's because it gave like a high-pitched whine out of it. It just was not satisfying to my ear. And so I had 3D printed a really cool backplate. I had a stack like of 3D printed backplates. I'm like, one of these is going to work great. And it's not ones that I designed. It's ones on Thingiverse that someone else had designed, and it was a really good design. And because of that, I lost the kickstand. Like, that was something that I lost by doing that. But the kickstand is still there. It was a great kickstand, but the vents, I feel like, are still really small there. And I'm concerned that we may not get as good of airflow as we could possibly get through those little holes. I really want to have my device be able to breathe. And it is a little concerning because we are getting more power. We are getting a bigger battery. Like, there is more heat that will come off of this device. And our vents are pretty small.
Bigger holes is what I heard. So,
bigger holes.
Yes. What you got for us, Clef?
A couple of things. First of all, it just so happens to be that I have multiple handheld PCs and I don't always use them all. And recently I tried to power my Legion Go one and it's dead. Like, Lenovo sent the kill switch. It's not powering. So a part of me is here thinking, well, what's going to happen when the Go 3 is around the corner? Will another kill? No, of course I'm, tinfoil hat here. I'm making jokes. But one thing that I think we haven't really talked about in the Speedcast as a whole so far is choice paralysis. And that's definitely a thing that can sway one in a direction or the other. And when I think of a device that seems to hit many of the marks that the Legion Go has for itself, is the Zotac Zone 2. And the Zotac Zone 2 will have an OLED screen, AMOLED, but same thing without the active matrix. We'll have great D-pad, because I got to feel the Zotac Zone 1. We have a lot of nice features, but amongst all of them, we have a proper HX370 in that device. So, the fact that we don't know how much that's going to cost, it kind of makes me want to wait and see what Zotac has for us. And I know it's not necessarily the most popular brand, but I've had GPUs from Zotac. I've never had an issue personally with them. So, there's that too. There's a lot of options on the market. And we were saying before we started the recording, actually, maybe we had started, I don't know.
I mean, people were mad about the Switch 2 being $500.
Yeah.
That's a valid concern, considering like the Switch 1's pricing has not changed in 8 years now, right?
Here's a wild take. You can buy an Ally X. You'll have a better SoC and a better APU, I'm sorry. And you'll easily fix that OLED issue with a Perennial. It's true though, is it not?
It's not true because you meant vitreous.
I literally bought.
You meant vitreous.
I have the 3S Pros right here, but with my own money.
Radio, you guys got to cut this out. Radio is not sponsoring this channel. That's not going to happen.
A few moments later,
you could literally buy an Xbox Ally X, which I think comfort is so important and so easily dismissed. And the Go 1 was great, but it was not the most comfortable. It's heavy. You take the Xbox Ally X, and if truly it comes out at $900 USD, you still have enough to buy a pair of XR glasses and still not hit the price of the Legion Go 2. And those XR glasses will blow the panel to smithereens. So I think there are options, a lot of options that we can consider. And there goes choice paralysis. So that's something that is in the back of my mind.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And I love that you actually brought up the, rumored or most latest price information that we got about the Xbox Ally X, being that I believe the base Xbox Ally was coming in at $599 or $600, and then the Xbox Ally X coming in at $900. Now, if we assume this is true, and even if we play with the idea that we talked about in a previous Speedcast, which was, we bump up the higher end SKU, Xbox Ally X to 1,000, let's say it's got like a larger SSD or whatever in there, that's still a significant price gap, right? We're talking a minimum of $350 to I think about like $480 in terms of a price gap between those two. And once again, this doesn't mean that the Legion Go 2 is a bad device, but it is a big asking price, right? Because between that price gap, yeah, I know maybe someone's going to cancel me in the comments, but yeah, you could almost sneak in a Switch 2 in there for that price difference, and that's a lot,
and we still have a better SoC on the Xbox Ally X with the AI variant.
I mean, that's to be proven, but
that's to be proven. But if we can leverage that to frame gen, that's a massive benefit to have on such a low power device.
Yes.
You mentioned the front firing speakers. Like that's a big deal too, right? Like actually having that experience when you're holding the device. Because I had the Legion Go 1 also, and the speakers at the top just sucked. Like I had to use FX Sound like to try to boost the audio just to hear it over that fan whine because it was so piercing to my ears. But like having that front firing speaker is actually really great in a handheld. Like I don't know if people really take that into consideration, but it is like a really, really great feature.
Agreed.
I think the other thing to consider down the pipeline, I know we had some comments also about like the price difference with the MSI Claw A8, the MSI Claw AI8, which is the Intel variant. So the Intel variant should punch just as hard as the C2 Extreme. Little to the behest of I guess like Intel. I mean, little did people actually all know as well that they're sleeping on Intel. The Arc 140V and the Arc 140T actually hit just as hard as the 890M and trade blows in many titles. But that device is basically a no-show. You can't find it anywhere for whatever reason that is. And we still don't have pricing, I believe, for the MSI Claw A8. If we assume also that device is coming in at $1,000, $1,100, that still has a pretty nice screen, like an 8-inch panel. It's not the 8.8 inch in the Go 2, and it's not an OLED display, but I imagine that it's a pretty good one still. 8-inch display has actually been like one of my favorite sizes, especially after using like the original Aoka Zoe A1 and also using the Legion Go S. But I mean, we know that people are going to pay that extra premium, whether because they can afford it or just because they want it. But something to keep in mind, I think, is also what is down in the pipeline. Right? Other things that could be creeping up. And I know no better person to ask than, my friend here, Zach, I know you're itching to talk about that backpack. We just got some information about that pricing too, right? So like, how does that put things in perspective? I know there's going to be people who are thinking, okay, I'm not going to choose a brand other than like MSI or Asus or Lenovo, like the big three. But if you would consider that, like, what are they looking at?
Oh man, shoot. Like you just keep throwing this Win 5 at me. So,
I didn't even say 385 this time, but like you,
like I'm just trying not to have a, try not to turn this into a Win 5 conversation, but you're making it really hard.
So
yeah, it's
not to interject, but you said something, and I think I'm just learning this. Have the prices been confirmed?
they have been confirmed in China. Yes. So they're probably going to be higher priced when they, leave domestic China because of like government subsidies or whatnot. But we'll have to do a price check that I check in the post here. But I believe the 385, the WinMax 5 385 is starting at like $12.29 US, like converted, something like
without
that.
backpack?
it's the
With the
the like price, whatever.
Base.
Yeah, the
base, right? And didn't they? And aren't they also saying like it comes with a backpack? Comes with one backpack, right? Is that right, Zach?
yeah
One backpack. Yes, you have to extra backpacks. You have to pay. And then what are the what's the 395 start at? It's like 1,600, right?
There's 32 gig, 1 terabyte is 1450 ish.
Yeah.
And what are we thinking here? Like a 200 bump for the international market, give or take 200 US?
Yeah, I don't think that's that unreasonable.
I think that's reasonable. That's not too much. That's not too little.
Yeah.
Right.
So if we assume early bird pricing is, let's say, 1,400 or so for the Win 5 385, and the base 395 about $1,600, this really has to make that choice paralysis thing even more difficult, as you said. I understand the devices are drastically different, right? That's not what we're comparing here. But what we are comparing is sheer raw performance and power.
By far.
Because we've been waiting a long time for the Z2E. Some people might even argue too long. And so you have to imagine that the 395 is that next step, or maybe some refresh of it. Like maybe, I don't know what AMD is going to call their refresh, like the Medusa Halo, or I don't know what they're going to call that. Maybe that'll be like the 495 or something like that. But if we imagine, let's say there's a 485, and that's going to push the prices of these things down, and then maybe it might even encourage a company like Lenovo or MSI to try and put this thing into a Legion Go Max, which we've been trying to get them to make, right? So this is not to say that if Lenovo were to make a device with a 395 that it's going to be cheap. This is not to say that, but it is this is to say, try to put that price comparison, especially price to performance comparison, which I think is often the debate, in tech communities.
Well, here's what I want people to think about. And if truly GPD can hit those prices, GPD, I apologize so hard. Big time, okay? Let me just put it out there. In my opinion, these are the first two things that you want to consider. Number one is SoC. And with SoC comes power, capabilities, options, the longevity that you have in terms of, is it future-proof and all that kind of stuff. Next is panel, for sure. Panel is going to transcend that experience better if you have a better quality. And then in third position, I'd say comfort. With taking all that into consideration, the leap that you get in performance is so drastically high, you basically will not need an eGPU with 395. It would not be pointless, but kind of would be. So eventually, when you hit that performance barrier on the Z2E Extreme, which is almost on arrival, not saying we're not going to be able to run games for the next year or two, but you're gonna make a lot of compromises in comparison to a 395. So yes, choice paralysis. If the Win 5 can truly hit those prices, big time. And I would want people to understand that you can address the panel with something like a portable monitor, with a dock, with a pair of XR glasses. You cannot address as easily your SoC, because that implies getting an eGPU and getting a GPU to put inside, or getting something that is paired up, which ultimately is not going to be the best value, but still an option. Anyways, that's my thoughts.
I think that's a completely fair and valid point. And we have been, fairly critical, hands-turn, notwithstanding. Aside. We've been critical of, like, me especially, of like the backpack system. And if you join us on our Discord, you can see how critical I've been. I'm going to save that from here because, there's a tiny little chance GPD might see this. But the reality is that performance gap that Clef is talking about is significant. I have also been critical of the fact that, what are you paying for? Like, does that really make sense when you're putting a 395 into like a handheld form factor like this? The Fox has done extensive testing on this and shown that you can go down to like 20 watts, and then the 18 watts is kind of the cutoff. When you're above 20 watts, that's when it really pulls away from the Z2E. And I'll eat my words. I understand people, again, about like people who are going to buy this, the Legion Go 2, the people who are going to buy this device and drop the wattage all the way down. That's your money. You can do whatever you want with it. That's your right to do it. And I totally understand, why someone would want that potential, kind of just in your hand, right? To be able to have this, on the go, the device that is just as powerful as every other handheld out there. And then as soon as you get home, you just crank up that TDP and, goodbye desktop. I understand that luxury. If anything, I think anyone in our group can understand, like, why they might want that kind of setup. We've all toyed with the idea of replacing our desktops. I'm sure, at least at one.
I got rid of my desktop. It's gone.
There you go.
It's gone.
There you go. Right. So
mine's pretty much a business, whatever, consumer, you know what I mean? Like basic stuff. I don't game on it anymore.
Yeah. It totally makes sense to me. So if this is like an all-in-one type of device, you may potentially need like the power of a 395 to do it. Right. But the thing is this could take you away if you decide to go in this direction. And I'm not saying go the direction of Win 5. I'm saying if you go in the direction of a handheld device that has a 395 in it, you could be steering yourself in this direction where you don't have to have the FOMO every single year there's a new release. Because we've talked about in the past that the difference between the Z1E and the Z2E is pretty small. It's like 10 to 15% typically. But the gap between these two devices, it's like 30% in some cases, even way bigger than that in other cases.
I'd say so.
Right.
I'd say so. And the Win 5 can be clocked even higher than the Rogue Flow that we have as the best point of comparison. Mm-hmm. The difference is so big. I was really impressed with the review unit that they loaned me, the Flow Z13. It's really a powerful device, and one that is powerful enough to not make you feel like you're compromising on many levels. It's people need to understand, if truly that's the option that you have to go with, it's going to be tough. And keep in mind, we are just starting to get into territories where we're fairly regularly going to start to see games release on Unreal Engine 5. And if you know a little bit about that, they're not optimizing like they used to. It's true, though. Like, we're going to hit that wall very, very soon. So...
Wait, Clef, you weren't finished. What do you mean? Is Borderlands 4 not running? Doesn't everyone have a 5090? Just get a better GPU, bro.
Dang, I didn't even think of mentioning that game. What a great example. Yep.
Yeah.
Didn't cross your mind, hey?
Yeah. Right. No, you're absolutely right about that. So I do think that in this context of, waiting it out, let's say, if that's your prerogative as well, for a 395 handheld or device of this portable nature, this might be the one like type of APU that lets you potentially future-proof yourself. But I mean, also, let's be real. I mean, this idea of really future-proofing yourself doesn't really exist. The companies know this. This is why they stagger their releases, because if you buy this device that's so great and you don't have to upgrade for the next 3 years, they lost your business. We know that too. Right.
That or the best future proofing is through the cloud. Give them your subscription. That's the best way to go about it.
Oh no, you're gonna get Zach started on that. Oh no.
It's
No. Wait, that's your cue, Zach. You're supposed to say GeForce now has 5080s that you can tap into.
I'm trying to keep us on top. I don't want to go down. I don't want to go down all the other tracks. All right, you guys get me started, and then we're gonna be here for the next hour.
I think we can all agree that the devices that are coming out, like whether it's with a 395 or whether it's the Legion Go with some innovative panels, like the panels that we haven't seen before with the 8.8 inch, 144 hertz OLED VRR display, like these are things that are all so good for us as like passionate PC handheld gamers that like we just need to keep rooting for all these innovations, like for all these new things and new ideas coming out. And yeah, we still need to fund them. Like as consumers, like if we don't fund these, they don't keep coming out. So we need to buy the devices that come out so that we can have more cool devices that keep coming out. And it shows that there's a demand for these things. And like all of this stuff is super exciting. And yeah, we're not quite, you're going to have compromises on every devices. Like there's going to be little things that you're like, okay, yeah, I can live with that. Or like, yeah, I'm going to wait for this so that I can have it for a little bit longer. But all of these things are just going to keep getting better and better and better. And you're just going to be new releases and you're like, oh, I should have waited for that. Like that's just how it is with PC handhelds. Like these things are coming out every quarter. We're seeing new innovations from different companies and it's exciting.
You're totally right about that again, Nelly, and I think that is a fair point to keep in mind. It's very easy to just FOMO over like the newest and the latest and the greatest as devices, and to put my Lenovo shill hat on again. I will say that in fairness to them, not about the pricing thing. I'm not happy about the pricing thing, but in fairness to them, in terms of release cycles, this is a very reasonable one. The Legion Go 2 came out close to 2 years ago by the time the Legion Go 2 comes out. We're not getting this yearly cadence that we see with some other devices. And I always joke about this, but Neo, I love your devices. I don't like how many SKUs you have. This is just the reality,
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, I guess, like I'll throw my hat, my Lenovo hat on too. Let's bring us back here a little bit. Like, like there's a lot of really good out. Like we talked about this release cadence. Like they're taking the first iteration of this product, and they are, and from what I see with everything, is upgrading every last bit of it. Like the controllers are more ergonomic. The vents that you mentioned earlier, Nelly, like hopefully they don't have that, little tick that's going to bother you, but they're in a way that I think is going to make tablet tablet mode more comfortable to use. Like every time I try to use my Legion Go 1 in tablet mode, I have to kind of orient myself because otherwise I got exhaust blowing on my hand. So I got to make sure I hold it just the one way. But, now we've got these vents that are here in the middle, should avoid your hands, bigger power button with the fingerprint sensor, all these things, OLED, VRR, 144 hertz. Let's just take everything and make it better. So yes, price sucks, but literally every quality of life improvement you could think of has been done to this thing.
You brought up some great points, and thanks for the assist, because I didn't even think of that. Yeah, the fingerprint sensor is actually like a low key game changer. People don't even realize that. I mean, yeah, if you're not on Windows, maybe that doesn't matter all that much, because truthfully, after having some time with the Legion Go S, I decided to be a madman and put SteamOS on my Legion Go, which is kind of buggy, but it works. But I threw on Bazite here, and it's incredible. I was playing Cyberpunk earlier at 15 watts. Yeah, I was cheating with some frame gen. It was at 800p Steam Deck setting, but I was getting close to 2 hours, and at 45 to 50 FPS. And I wasn't I didn't cheat and upgrade my battery or anything like that. So I also do love the fact that what Zach said, like they've iterated on this design. They didn't actually just throw everything in the trash as well, right? If you are a Legion Go 1 owner and, you know, the price isn't justified for you, Lenovo has said that they will sell like the Go 2 controller separately. So then like you can get some of that upgrade as well without shelling all that cash, you know, for whatever reason. So it's not all bad.
We haven't even talked about the Xbox app. Or like the actual Xbox interface
that they'll have. Yeah, it's confirmed that they'll have it. The Xbox front-loaded OS.
Yeah,
but we don't know when though.
I have no hope for that. They've said 2026. I think we mentioned this in the last episode. Like we just touched on it.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, we're just now getting SteamOS for all. So
it's nice that they'll have it. We knew.
I'd be patient.
Still, I think don't buy that on the basis of. However, it's going to be nice when it arrives. That's kind of how I approach it. But you know, to sort of piggyback off of Zach, which had a lot of great points, and I'm looking at like there's a lot of quality changes that can be easily dismissed. For example, I know it's such a minute little thing, but the amount of people that asked in my videos about telescopic controllers being able to put them on the Go 1, and you couldn't because the backboard was angled. And I'm looking at the backboard here, it doesn't seem to be an issue anymore. So there's like minute little touches like this that ultimately the ergonomics, the buttons, the feel, I know is going to make it more appealing. Much like Nelly, I am concerned about the fact that we have fan exhaust around the speakers. It's just the perfect way to pollute the audio that's going to come out of this thing. But you know, it's one of the, if I can give the panel, if I can make the panel address with XR glasses, I certainly can make that audio address with 3.5 millimeter jack or Bluetooth headphones and stuff like that. Like I can be reasonable. I want to love this thing. Don't get me wrong. I really do want to love this thing, but there are a lot of great things around the corner as well. But yeah, they're you know, they has a kickstand, it has detachable things, it has the mouse mode. It's it has gyro.
Got all the things.
The controllers too.
Yeah.
If you're a gyro player.
It's still got FPS mode.
And they got USB-C now.
Yep.
This is the first handheld that's actually called a 2. Right?
Oh.
Is it really? From the mainstream?
Yeah, from the mainstream.
Yeah.
That's true.
Let's say, I guess, unless you were talking about like Win 2 or you know,
that's true.
one of those other ones. But
yeah, all we need now is
just like, hey, this is
true too. Yeah.
This is true too. We just need a SteamOS edition to come on, Gabe, subsidize the cost just a little bit. And
is yours not
even
buggy with Wi-Fi though? Like my Wi-Fi on my Ally X, it's like some days I have Wi-Fi, some days I have no Wi-Fi. I got to revert back OS. Like it's been crazy with the Wi-Fi.
I don't have it.
I literally have an Ethernet cable with like an adapter and USB ready to go for when the Wi-Fi gets wonky, which is like every 2 days. I don't know what's happening with SteamOS. Maybe it's different with the Legion Go, but with the Ally X, it's a little weird right now.
I had a little bit of issues like that with Bazite when I first put it on my OG Ally. Was like the Wi-Fi. It'd be like you turn it on, and then you just have to restart it and it'd be fine. But yeah, it'd just be like all of a sudden, oh, I don't have Wi-Fi.
Like Wi-Fi power management, it doesn't do anything. I have to go into desktop mode, try to figure it out, but it sounds like it's not an issue with Lenovo. So clearly, let's go SteamOS Lenovo.
Give it to us. Give it to us, Gabe. Come on, give it to us, Lenovo. On that topic, I am curious about what the audience might think about a potential SteamOS variant for the Legion Go 2. And I do believe that they have, Legion reps out there who are curious about that potential possibility too. So if you voice your desire for that, I think they probably could make that happen. So just just pipe up in the comments, and maybe we can show it to them that you do want that, right? Unless you just want to get penetrated by Windows. I know my friend Clef is very good with that.
What?
Yes. Also,
I do the pen. No.
Also, if you are interested in, Bazite, because you hear a lot about it, or you hear about like SteamOS, I recently spent way too much time with it. You're welcome to leave us a comment below. Tell us, hey, yeah, why do people want this so badly? Why do people hate Windows so much? Why are people, hoping against hope that the Xbox full screen experience will be the savior for Windows? But unless my panelists here have something else to share, that's going to do it for me. I have to recharge something back there.
I do have something for them. I'm going to revert back to a previous episode. Get a Red Magic Astra, put Game Hub, and play Silk Song until something better comes along. Oh, I said it.
We're cutting. Cut the feed. Bye, everyone.
Bye.